Mr. Buffett, Mr. Munger, my name is Joe Schulman. I'm a shareholder from Oxford, Maryland. Thank you for a wonderful meeting. In order for Berkshire to have an opportunity to hopefully grow its earnings by about 15% per year, if we can do that, at least for the next few years, it's obvious that because of the redeployment of earnings and float, the existing businesses do not need to grow at 15%. At what rate would you expect the existing businesses to grow to achieve an aggregate rate close to what I'm describing? And what do you think the probability is of achieving that?
Yeah. Well, I think the probability of us achieving 15% growth in earnings over an extended period of years is so close to zero, it's not worth calculating. I mean, we'll do our best, and we have a lot of fun doing it. So it's not something where we have to come down and do things that are boring to us or anything of the sort. I mean, our inclination is to very much to do everything we can legitimately to add to Berkshire's earnings and things we can understand, but it can't happen over time. We will have years when we do it, and you're quite correct in pointing out we don't need to do it from the present businesses. We will add things all the time, any more than we needed to do it from the current business back in 1965 with the textile business. I mean, we have to improvise as we go along, and we will. And the businesses we have are good businesses in aggregate. They will do well. They won't do anything like 15% growth per annum, but we will take a good rate of progress from those businesses, and we will superimpose upon that acquisitions which will add to that. But we can't do 15 over a period of time, and nor incidentally do we think any large company in the United States is likely to do. There will be a couple that do it for a long period of time, but to predict which of the Fortune 500 will end up being the one or two or three would be very hard to do, and it won't be more than a couple out of 500. If you take large companies not working from a deflated base year, I think our method is a pretty good one. I mean, I think the idea of having a group of good businesses to throw off cash in aggregate in a big way, that themselves grow, that are run by terrific people, and then adding on to those, sometimes at a slow rate, but every now and then at a good clip, more businesses of the same kind, and not increasing the outstanding shares. I think that's about as good a business model as you can have for a company our size. But what it produces, we'll have to see. Charlie?
I certainly agree that the chances of this 15% per annum progress extrapolated way forward is virtually impossible. I think generally the shareholding class in America should reduce its expectations a lot.
Including the pension funds.
Yeah, including the pension funds, you bet. It's stupid the way people are extrapolating the past. Not slightly stupid, massively stupid.
And this is a message, incidentally, if you think about it. I mean, nobody has any interest in saying this, financial interest in saying it, whereas people have all kinds of financial interests in saying just the opposite. I mean, you do not get an information flow if you listen to the financial world or read the financial press. You do not get an information flow that is balanced in any way in terms of looking at the problem, because the money is in believing something different, and money is what it's what causes people to become prominent, or it flows from becoming prominent in the investment world in terms of whether you go on television shows or whether you manage money or trying to attract it through funds or whatever it may be. I don't think if you were an actuarial consultant and you insisted that the companies that you gave your actuarial report to use a 6% investment rate, I don't think you'd have a client. So it's almost impossible for the advisors, in effect, in my view, to be intellectually honest on it. Don't you think so, Charlie?
Yeah, there is a very smart investment advisor in my town, and he said that years ago some risk arbitrage firm would tell his clients, we know how to make 15% per annum year in and year out. And he said, years ago, everybody said that's impossible. He says, now in this climate, they say, so what? Who's interested in a lousy 15%?
And it was easier in the earlier climate,
Yes.
obviously, because the money hadn't been attracted into it.
Generally speaking, there's more felicity to be gained from reducing expectations than in any other way. It is simply crazy for this group to have very high expectations. Moderate expectations will do fine for all of us.
Okay, we'll take one more before we break for lunch. We'll go to number 2.